course, many congratulations once again on bucking the trend in Kerala. Now, another first has been scripted as far as today's results is concerned, and that is coming for the BJP in Assam, where for the very first time, a non-Congress government is being re-elected for a second consecutive term. BJP Assam in charge, Jay Panda, also National Vice President of the party, is now joining me. Jay Panda, overall may not be a great day for the BJP vis-a-vis the situation in West Bengal. But congratulations to you under the leadership of Sarbananda Sonowal as Chief Minister, Himanta Biswa Sarma, perhaps prospective Chief Minister. The BJP has managed to not just win in Assam, but actually improve its tally from last time around.
Thank you. And actually, I think it's a good day because even in Bengal, even though we had set very high targets, going from 3 seats to nearly triple digits is a huge growth for the BJP. And now it's become a bipolar situation in Bengal. Puducherry, we are doing well. And as you rightly pointed out, in Assam, there's been a tremendous breakthrough 5 years ago. And now, 5 years later, the pro-incumbency atmosphere that prevailed has some very important reasons behind it. And it proves that the BJP does make a huge difference in governance.
This was perhaps one state where the BJP was the incumbent and therefore had other challenges than other states, right? And this was also one state where it felt, at least from the outside, that the Congress had a plan. They stitched together an alliance. They set the ball rolling, perhaps the most credible alliance in any other state. If you look at other situations and demography in Assam, if you look at the issues of CAA and NRC, which put the BJP on the back foot, this is where was the BJP's toughest fight in many ways, because you were defending what you had. How did you manage to do it, Jay Panda? Why don't you share some secrets today?
First of all, on incumbency, the conventional wisdom that incumbency was a burden has been disproved at the national level by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And now it is being disproved in states where BJP is in government, like Assam. Now, see, the Prime Minister himself has kept a laser-like focus on the Northeast. And you can see dramatic differences in development in the last 5 years in Assam compared to previous decades, whether it is on infrastructure, whether it is on law and order. There have been no communal riots in the last 5 years, as opposed to them being a regular feature in Assam in earlier years. The dramatic drop in infiltration, the intervention of the Home Minister to finally resolve the Bodo militancy, which had been dragging on for so many decades despite earlier records. The work of the party itself, led by and inspired by our national president, JP Nadda, where literally lakhs of our volunteers reached out across the state and across the country to stand by people in their time of need during the pandemic. And finally, as you said, the government there, led by Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal and Finance Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, they have proved this concept of double engine governance, because if you look at the kind of rollouts that have happened without any stench of corruption in DBT, for instance, in management of the pandemic, Assam arguably has the best record of any large state in the country. So yes, all of this goes hand in hand for this wonderful performance we've had in Assam today.
Mr. Panda, I have the breakup of the seats that have large Muslim influence. There were as many as 56, according to our own data, out of the 126 that had large Muslim influence. Here, you seem to have lost from your from your 2016 tally. Don't you think that BJP has to think about this? If it has to be sabka saath, sabka vishwas, sabka vikas.
Actually, I think if you look at the data, you'll find that the BJP itself has gained seats. The alliance may have a few seats difference because there is a different alliance. We have a new Bodo party as our alliance partner this time, which is just freshly started last year. Now, let me tell you something. Apart from the developmental narrative that the people of Assam have supported, you asked about the Congress alliance. Now, this is the worst example of the cynicism that Congress is showing in allying with radical elements that don't swear by the Constitution all the time, that are clearly communal, And these are parties like the UDF in Assam and ISF in Bengal that Congress had earlier shunned, but now they are embracing them. So this shows the bankruptcy of the Congress itself. Now, you talked about the demographics in certain seats. The thing is, the kind of demographics that existed, if you only went by the arithmetic, things would have been very different. But fortunately, the people of Assam have recognized that, for example, when we say Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, we mean it. There is no discrimination. You can go and ask anybody, and even people that don't vote for us or haven't voted for us will openly tell you that governance has dramatically improved in Assam.
Okay, I just want to quickly ask you, more about the T tribes' influence as well. Our numbers are showing you have more or less held on. So the campaign that the BJP or the Congress mounted against you, especially Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi mounted against you, that seems to have fallen flat.
So this is part of the cynicism of the Congress party. While some in the media, as you said, think that Congress somehow had a grand strategy for Assam, they didn't. Their grand strategy consisted of selling their soul, entering into an alliance with the UDF, which, as I said, is an openly radical party. And when it comes to the T tribes in Upper Assam, you could see that they didn't have much of a campaign. Their entire effort was to do old style, manipulation of people, try to suppress the fact in Upper Assam that they had an alliance with UDF in all of Assam. Try to influence voters through unsavory means. That didn't work.
Well, when I said strategy, at least that is all relative, of course. In other states, they didn't seem to be a player. At least in Assam, the Congress had a chance, and many believe this was their best chance. And of course, we'll have to deliberate with Congress spokespersons of where this leaves them. But finally, Jay Panda, I want to ask you, who is the next Chief Minister of Assam?
Look, unlike other parties, which are either dynastic or have, mostly they are dynastic, the BJP is the world's largest democratic political party. We have a transparent process. Our future course of action will be decided by the parliamentary board. There will be central observers sent there. There will be a legislative party meeting. And to second guess that process is not correct. It's not permissible in our system.
But Himanta Biswa Sarma is now a 50-50 candidate, isn't it? I mean, he's vying for that position.
We have, in the government of the last 5 years, led by Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma has been a very, very important member. He's held many important portfolios and contributed immensely to many of the work that the government has done there. Beyond that, like I said, our course of action will be guided by the parliamentary board.
All right, Mr. Jay Panda, thanks a lot for joining us. I appreciate you sharing your time. And of course, congratulations once again. We'll have to see exactly where the numbers settle, but the trends are more or less crystallizing everywhere. Thanks.